Hey everybody, I'm Monty, and Channel 5 is reporting that water slides are actually more dangerous than roller coasters. Did y'all know that? I didn't know that. But so be safe out there. You know, it's getting cold anyway. Y'all don't need to be in the water. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Channel 5. Appreciate the love. Appreciate y'all checking us out, checking this episode out. Make sure you subscribe, man. We need them subscribers on YouTube. Give a like, a comment. It's very much appreciated. Hope you've been enjoying the shows, and it is good to be back. So I'm gonna cut right to the chase today with the show. You've seen the title, by clicking on this, so you know what I'm going to talk about. It's funny. I had an interesting conversation about this. About, do men prefer traditional women or modern women? And it was interesting because a lot of people were giving their opinions and things like that, and it's kind of, I think people kind of came first to a consensus because they were trying to even define what is a traditional woman versus what is a modern woman. And now I was listening in because I'm like, yeah, I want to hear what y'all going to say, because I think people believe or think that a traditional woman is a woman that does not work and like stays at home with the kids and raises the kids, and a modern woman is more career based and trying to get her own and things like that. I really don't know if either of that is true. Those are kind of just some easy stereotypes to put two groups in. Now, tradition, when we say tradition, of course, tradition is like the traditions people used to do. So traditionally, if you go back to the beginning of time, sure, men would hunt and bring back food, and women would watch the kids and make food and things like that. So yes, in a traditional sense, women didn't work as much as men did back in the days, and men went to war and all that stuff. And then women had to even fight. I've seen so many funny memes. Women had to fight for the right to work, and I've seen people now like, I can't believe we was fighting to have to work these jobs. But so if you just talk about what is tradition, sure, I guess that's what people used to do, just kind of in doing things. And we know that back in those days, not everybody was, up on what we should do. We were just doing what we had to do. So I think what is described as a traditional woman now, it kind of came to a consensus that maybe it's a little more muddled, and really there might not be. Now there's some modern beliefs and thinkings that even some traditional women hold to, but there are women that were saying, I'm totally fine, making my own money and getting my own thing, but I do want to have a family. I would like to raise kids and all that stuff too. So it's kind of a mix. And so a lot of the men, even the men, were saying, I don't know if I want just a traditional woman or just a modern woman. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to say that. And one person even said, who do you think takes care of themselves more? Like their appearance and just in the day to day, is it traditional women or modern women? And then, I said, I don't know even, I really don't know, because I'm still kind of confused on what y'all are saying about what truly is a traditional or modern woman. I said, well, what do you think in terms of the authenticity of the woman? What do you think of in terms of traditional versus modern women? And what I mean when I said the authenticity is that, because people like, we were talking about appearance and things like that. And I said, well, is there a woman that presents herself, and dresses real nice and all that stuff until she gets a man? And then when she gets a man, she kind of lets herself go and doesn't really care about that no more, which means that might not have truly been her. Because there's some women that are, really into fashion and stuff, and they're going to dress fly and had a hair did and all that till they 95 years old. You know what I'm saying? And there's some women that are doing that to attract a man. And I'm not even really knocking whatever you do, but it's just like, what is more authentic? Are you just doing this to put your best foot forward? It's like with men, sometimes men kind of want to lead with their money to impress women. And you might not really have a bag like that, but you're just trying to wine and dine. And we get back into the cheesecake thing, go back to the episode. We already talked about that. But is that really you? So it's on both sides, but that's what I ask, and we kind of went a different way with it. But I would say this personally for me. I like women with traditional values very much. And so what does that mean? And again, I think modern women do have tradition. I don't even know how to say. I'm just saying I like traditional values. I'm a little old school in that. But I have no problem with women working. I have no problem with women being go-getters. I actually love that about women. I love that women have a sense of who they are. Do whatever you want. I don't feel like a woman needs to be held back. I feel like, because then they argue, well, if a woman is making her own money, I got to support the whole house while she's just out, getting her hair done and, girls trips and all that stuff. And I hate when kind of men say that just because of the fact, well, fam, choose a good one then, because if you get a good woman, she's not going to do that. She's not going to have you work and pay for the bills and the kids and stuff, and she's out in Cancun every other month just blowing the bag with her money. Like a wise woman builds her home. So that's not something I'm worried about. Maybe some other guys are worried about it, but that's not something I'm worried about. I really am, because then they were like, well, are you a traditional man or a modern man? Which again was kind of a muddled conversation too, because it's hard to really say. I do have some very traditional beliefs. I got some beliefs. I'm gonna tell you what right now, y'all. Let me tell y'all about me. Me and my wife are going to fight about our 1-year-old's birthday. That's going to be an argument. I promise you. When we have a 1-year-old child, our first 1-year-old child, and however many children we have, we are going to fight about it. You know why? Because I don't care about 1-year-old birthdays. I don't care about 1-year-old kids' birthdays. Oh, you see, you just saying that because you ain't never had a kid. Listen, I helped raise my brother, okay? I was 16 or 17 whenever he was born. Okay, he was young enough to be my kid, and I didn't go to his first birthday party. Okay, I don't, okay? I could care less about what y'all say. See, so I'm that kind of old school. Like, what we giving a party for a 1-year-old for? He ain't even gonna remember it. That's for y'all. Throw yourself a party. Okay, see, that's how old school I am with it. See, y'all don't want. We'll have to give my parenting things later. So I am a kind of traditional thing like that. But other than that, I'm not like have my dinner on the table at 5:30 every, you know what I mean, like that. Because if she is working, I gotta respect her hustle too. So I cook sometimes, you cook sometimes, whatever we gotta do. I'm very flexible about that. So if that is modern man thinking, then okay, fine, I'm a modern man. But I still think traditional values are cool too. And I mean, even when we say traditional values, like, I mean, I guess everybody wants somebody that love them and support them. Is that traditional? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we just throw these words out here and people just argue to argue. But I feel like for women, the more that they, I don't want to say come into their own, but the more that they realize that, I can, get an education and get a job and all that. Not that they didn't know that before, but the more prevalent it is, it's not a reason to be threatened by it if you're a man. You know what I'm saying? Because I still feel like two are better than one. So, if, you got a hustle mentality, I got a hustle mentality, let's hustle together. You know what I'm saying? It's not like your hustle mentality is going to make me feel like my manhood is lessened or anything like that, So, okay, here I can hear right now. So would you date a woman that made more money with you? Sure would. Yeah. Come on. Holla at me right now. Inbox is empty. Come through. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like less of a man and she don't got to open the door for me because she's making woman. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we get together, is our money. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm making, what she making, good. Her success is my success. That's the thing about it. Why would I want to be in competition with somebody I'm married to? That's crazy. Now I can be in competition with, the stranger there and Joe Blow and Mary Blow, all that stuff. Okay, fine. But if you in my house sleeping in my bed, we not in competition. We a team. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna make this work because we both benefiting from it. So if that's modern women, then fine. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's just the line goes all over the place. But I think that, what I will say, this is what I don't like, is the criticism of Big Mama and them, okay? Let me say what I mean by that. Because I hear a lot of people say, Well, back in the day, our grandparents and great grandparents or our parents, they didn't know no better. They just married who they could marry because they didn't really know nobody else and stuff. But we got options now. We're much more. No, that's not true. Okay. They were human beings like you were human beings. They had hopes and dreams and stuff. They just had to do what they had to do. And they did what they had to do. So now you can do what you want to do. And don't get it twisted, all right? Just because Big Mama and them, was struggling a little bit, and maybe they didn't get to go to Ibiza or go to San Tropez like you did. That doesn't make you better than them. It just makes you a beneficiary of their hard work. So that mentality of I got more options now. Big Mama wasn't on Instagram. She didn't have 3,000 followers like I do. So I got me. First of all, you ain't got the options like you think you got, sis. You ain't got the options like you think you got, bro. I promise you. Just because people follow you and like your pictures, that don't mean you got options, okay? You got some terrible choices, okay, which is what most of them are. But you really ain't got no options. Yeah, they just knew everybody in the same town and they really didn't know anybody. So they didn't really. Okay, fine. But that whole, I don't want to get into the passport, bro. All right, go on out there then. You so big and bad, go on and see. Okay? But they were actually a little smarter than me because they said, listen, we're trying to build a home here. Okay? We're not in competition with each other. We're not trying to just take pictures on the beach and wear matching outfits and take 45 pictures, for TikTok. No, they was really about making let's go to work. Let's build something. Let's have a home. Let's build a legacy. Let's build generations. You know what I'm saying? And to think sometimes we get away from that because we so smart. We got our phones. You know what I'm saying? We got everything here. We got all the answers here. All right. Well, if we got the answers, why are we arguing so much with each other? Why are we fighting so much on social media then? We got all these answers. What's all this strife? I thought we were smarter. That's where I do recognize that traditional way. If that's what traditional is, I do rock with that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that it means you got to just put up with everything because some people will say, well, my grandfather was hitting my grandmother. She stayed all them years. I'm not saying do that. No. You shouldn't stay in an abusive relationship of any kind. Okay, you definitely should not be getting beat or things like that. Any kind of physical abuse, no. I'm never gonna, advocate for that. But it doesn't mean that your grandmother was not smart and that you're smarter than her. You know what I mean? It's different. Talk to me once you've been married 17 years and got 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? And then you're trying to decide whether you should leave the relationship or not. It's a little different then. That's why I can't criticize every situation because I don't know every situation, but that traditional thinking, people are acting like, back in the day, they didn't know nothing. They knew plenty of stuff, okay? They knew a lot more probably than we think we know now, okay? It's just we weren't walking in their shoes. So that's something I don't like, you know what I'm saying, when we talk about traditional versus modern, okay? Because everything modern does not mean it is better, okay? And as you can see on social media, a lot of it is worse to me. But I would just say, to kind of land this plane, a traditional woman versus a modern woman, I think it's a real thing. I just don't think it's as black and white as we make it. I think there are a lot of traditional women with modern concepts that they embrace, and there are a lot of quote unquote modern women with traditional concepts that they embrace. You know what I mean? So it might be more like a 70-30 or a 60-40 split. It might not be 50-50. And I don't think anybody's just 50-50. I think everybody leans a little bit to one way or another, but ultimately it can work. So, but if you're a man that wants to just provide for his family, only wants his wife to stay on with the kids, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Find you a woman. There's women that want to do that. And if you're a man that like a hustler, there's hustlers out there too. You know what I'm saying? But if you like a hustler, don't look at the woman that wants to raise the kids and be like, oh, see, that's why you think, and don't vice versa. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Find your niche. Okay. Again, you got all these followers, so pick through them and find the right one. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be that hard. But I for one, think that anybody in 2023, with any kind of common sense, understands we're in a much more modern time than 100 years ago. We know that. But it doesn't mean that some of the foundational things that they had back then are not still true today. Okay? And that's what I mean by that. And don't think, coming into a relationship with somebody is not going to be work. I think people are really trying to find shortcuts. There are no shortcuts, at least from what people tell me, especially people been married a long time. It is hard, not that it's not rewarding and it's not great. It's hard, and it's kind of supposed to be hard. Not meaning that you and a person are hard with each other, but you're not going to get great results without great work put into it. There's no such thing as easy work, great results. So if you and that person come together, you're going to want to have greatness in your home. And that's going to cost a lot of sacrifice and a lot of time. That's in anything. I don't have to be married to tell you that. That's in business. That's in sports, in anything. Coming together with greatness, it takes a lot of work to get to where you want to get to. Now, if y'all don't want nothing great and you don't really care about each other like that, coast all you want. But those couples goals that y'all love to talk about, if you really want to attain those things, it's hard because you got to work hard. The other person has to work hard. Y'all got to be in sync, which is another attitude. Just me by myself, I got to work hard on myself. And I ain't got to worry about nobody else. But me working hard, and there's another person in my house working hard, and then we got to be in sync with how we work and have aligned goals. That's even making it more. So now it was just me, but now it's me and another person, and there's a third thing of us trying to come together. So that makes it harder. So that's why you want to make sure you are aligned with a person that, not that you got to vet everybody on the first date and go know for sure, but that means that the person you choose and you're going to be with, you want them to at least be able to be in line with the way that you think. So when you guys sit down and you plan your lives together, not that you can foresee every bump in the road, because you definitely cannot. But if you feel like this person here at least understands what the agenda is and what we're trying to do together, then we got a shot, whether they're modern or traditional. So I'm not trying to just be down the middle with it, but I feel like modern women or traditional women, I really don't think is that big a delineation, because everybody's got a little bit in them. So if you are one of them, keep doing what you're doing, man. Just learn and grow together, all right? Modern women, modern men, traditional women. We can all do it together, all right? That's the show, man. Keep us locked, all right? We got more shows coming. This is Channel 5 on the Mighty Sharp Network through Max. I'm sorry, I meant to mention it last week. I forgot. Maxon, all right? Maxon Media. I did a little preview, might do a whole show on Maxon at one point, but once we get the merch in. But anyway, guys, you know what to do, all right? Be blessed. Stay sharp.